You doing? How's things? How's life? How's the universe? How's your week been? What's everybody been up to? And we're live. Wonderful. Yeah, hello. How's things? Hello, John. He's still kicking about. And hello, Elephant TechXGB. How you doing? Loved the last stream. Wonderful. Well, I'm glad to have you again. And, yeah. How has your week been? I suppose there's a few new hot things this week, including AMD's new CPU, which unfortunately I don't have. So, you know, there we go. But it does look pretty good. Hello, John. How you doing, man? How's things? Stop. The sky, I think. Nah, I'm not well. I'm now fully off the steroids and have been for a few days. Um, or a week, I can't remember. Either way, it's having an effect. I'm back to the blood, uh, a decent amount of it actually. Um, so yeah, not great. Could be better. I'm tired. Hello, Simon. How you doing? How's things? Good to have you back. What have you been up to for the last however many weeks? Got a bleed too. Not as bad as yours, I think. I mean, where from? Cause um, neck spine thing has been bad for a few weeks too. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Hope that it's at least manageable, which is about all I can I can hope for. So. Did you used to be an adventurer by any chance? um, busy. Also changed my car, same but different. How's life in general? Um, so you still have a Peugeot 308, but a newer one? Is that right? How's life in general? There are some really quite bad bits, and a few little beacons of hope. I have a 13900K, not OC'd, recently changed cases in the AIO, added a CPU contact frame, and I still idle at about 38 to 45 degrees Celsius. Any idea, any tips why it might still be high? Apologies, I am not well. Um, so, uh, 30 to 40 degrees for idle isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. So I think that the first thing that I would ask is what is idle for your machine? Like if you open Task Manager when your system is idle, how much CPU utilization is there? You might also want to do the um, download something like hardware info, HW info, and also have that open so that you can see what the power consumption is, because that will make a big difference. 6 to 8%. What do you have running? That's that's not idle, especially on a what 24 core technically. I mean the yeah 24 core 30 something threads. Anyway, yeah, that's really high, which would explain it. Discord, Steam, antivirus, probably Chrome. Yeah, that'd do it. That would. So in that case, you're 38 to 40 degrees Celsius is actually pretty decent for, you know, almost 10% utilization. John, I'm gonna try and talk tech rather than shite. Nice. What do you think of an upgrade would be from how much of an upgrade would a 5700X3D be from an 8700K? All things being the same, 3440 by 1440. Um, da, 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 da. Still pretty decent. What GPU do you have? Is it 2070 Super? You talked about buying a few different cards, which is what has me confused. Um, I'm at 5% and now just browsing and watching. This seems a little much, especially on that. Yeah, that's high. You should see what it's at. 2017 non-super, but thinking about getting a 5060 or up. Got it. Um, I think so. It should give you a decent uplift. I mean, the fact that we saw the performance, the frankly insane performance uplift from the 9800X3D that came out was yesterday. Um, like the amount of extra performance that you can get from that new chip is just incredible because generally speaking, games are often not CPU limited. It's normally you're pretty much sitting at the top end of what your graphics card can do, and all of a sudden this new chip comes along and holy shit, you can get some way more performance. Like there's a few games where it runs 50% faster. Like you get double the performance of the new Intel chip. Like what? Um, and so, yeah, the 5700X3D is still going to be a great choice. Um, but yeah, uh, it would also, I think, help set you up for the a higher end GPU upgrade as well. Um, yeah. As far as I've seen, 9800X3D versus 5800X3D is not much when you go to 1440p gaming and up on high quality, but two extra cores would help me with multitasking and get 16 gig of RAM. You would, as in you currently have 16? I mean, if you're you want at least 16, ideally 32. Extra 16, got it. Yeah. Fair. Um, hello, Elephant X, Tech X Gaming. How you doing? Also hello Ab and hello Simon and hello Joe. How you doing, man? And hello Paul. How you guys doing? Um, ba 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 ba. I did have a 2016 308 SW, now I have a 2018 Allure automatic. Fair. How's the automatic? Is it an automated manual or is it, because I don't think a torque converter would fit, or is it DSG? EAC 8. That sounds like a DSG 8 speed. Um, ba 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 ba. In terms of thermal paste, yeah. So the thermal paste is the stock block is in what came on the H150i. It comes pre-applied. Um, you can see a couple of degrees Celsius difference with some good thermal paste for sure. Um, but that's mostly under load. I mean, technically, it should technically help across the board. But anyway, if you've already got the thermal grizzly stuff, why not have a go? But yeah, yeah. Ideal would be a 5070 Super, but that'd be around September the earliest, probably November 2026, if CES is for the 50 series. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. I hope I make it until then, else 5060 Ti, but that would be later too. Yeah. Anything particularly exciting caught your eye lately? Be it tech or cars? I mean, the 9800 X3D looks insane. Like, I have yet to be like that surprised by performance benchmarks. Um, Especially for gaming, obviously. Uh, so yeah, like that. As long as you can afford that chip, that does seem like the only chip to buy if you're building a gaming PC now, you know? Like, as I mentioned, there are some games where it is you get double the frame rate versus the new Intel chip, you know? Like, you can buy the Core Ultra 9 285K, or you can buy the 9800 X3D and get twice the performance. Right? Like, that's insane. At least in, in some games. In some games it's, 10, 20%. But either way, it's a significant amount more, power. I think it will also depend on the graphics card as well. Yeah. Wow. You know? Uh, Which makes it all the more annoying that I don't have one. um yeah. I think I've also been programming for the latency tool, so that's been um, on my mind. And then I've also been really trying to get my DIY bed cooler project done. And I finally have the proper current limiting resistors. These are 100 watt rated 2.7 ohm um, wire wound resistors. So yeah. What sort of price point is the 9800 X3D? Was it 300s or 400? I can't remember. That's a lot of resistance. Well, it's only 2 ohms, so it's actually not a lot of resistance. Or 2.7 ohms. The point of it being 2.7 ohms is that at 12 volts, which is what the techs run at, it will be I can't do maths in my head, and I've forgotten the number. Is it 12 divided by 2.7? 4.4 amps, which at 12 volts is 53 watts. So yeah, some juice. Or 200 watts across all four. If it's 300, it might be no brainer. I think if it is 300, it's high 300s. If it's 400, is it out yet? It should be, right? Um. Uh, ba, 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 ba. Oh, it's 479 USD. So 450 pounds. Um. Yeah. Do they have? Uh. Do they list a price tag, or they just list the US price? Okay, never mind. Um, Hello Jim, how you doing? Hello Harry, how you doing? Your team is super helpful. Well, the team is just me, so um, Yeah. Oh, where is it? It's down here somewhere. This one? Yeah. Um, I can speak on LDAT because I have one, and I've also taken it apart. Um, uh, Whereas that's the only other latency tester that I have uh, that does like game latency testing, basically. Um, so I can speak on that because I have it, and because you can't buy one from a video. um, Finally upgrading gaming rig 9800X3 4090. Nice. Um, it's almost winter. Should really be focusing on the heating side. Well, yeah. So it's a bed water cooler, but it's also a bed water heater. Because the magic with the Peltier modules is that as long as you reverse which side is connected to power and which side is connected to ground, it will either do, uh, I think probably about 300 watts of heating or about 200 watts of cooling. Because it's more efficient to cool. Um, yeah. Uh, oh, unless the TCGB OS cat is for the summer 2025 release. No, I mean I will be making the all the files open source like PCB files and the ESP home config and stuff, but I've not designed it right. Like I'm gonna make it work for me, but I would not recommend that you you do it yourself. But you can. It will all be available, so you can. You shouldn't, but you can. um, Joe, I have OSOTC and OSRTC. They're both incredible tools, incredibly accurate. Thank you very much. Glad you like them. Andrew said your tool is 65,000. Just to clarify, I am Andrew. There's only one, like, I design the tools, I write all the software, I make all these videos, I ship the tools. Like, it's all me. Um, I thought I heard you say 75,000. Yeah, so as I said in the email, I was approximating 75,000, and then I did the maths to check what it actually is before giving you a direct, straight comparison, and it's at 15.3 microseconds, it's about 65,000 samples per second. Um, it would be 12 or I can't do maths in my head, man. Just don't ask me to. um, but yeah, it takes a new sample every 15.3 microseconds, um, and yeah, which is slightly faster than the response time tool, which is every 18 microseconds. Um, yeah, one man team. Yes, that's a me. And you. um, Doing far too much with like nowhere near enough mental or physical ability or capacity or health. um so yeah, dearie me. I am technically working on a new response time tool that will actually, I think, what did I work, uh the lowest that I got was 2.7 microseconds. Someone can do the math for me to tell me how many samples per second that is. Just do a million divided by 2.7, and that will tell you. But that's just a response time tool, not latency, and it's I haven't touched it in like 6 months because I got really really ill, and I'm still really really ill, and I'm dealing with a lot. Yeah, fun times. Still waiting for the job opening. Mate, I can barely afford myself. It's a bit of a chicken and egg because like if I had other people to help me do stuff, I could sort of grow the business much faster. The problem is you have to be able to afford the people to do. I like I currently cannot afford to hire anybody. So, um, yeah. I hope you feel way better. Well, thank you. Well, good timing. Um, I mean, so do I. Unfortunately, all of my problems are uh what you call it? I was gonna say terminal. That's the wrong word. um, Lifelong, incurable. That's the word. Um, yeah. So it's really only about managing my quality of life. That's the word. Um, yeah, chronic. Um, Rather than treating them. I do have an appointment with the gastroenterology team, not this week but next. Not this week coming, but the one after that, like the 21st or something. Where I am getting so I've said before, but I was on chemotherapy, aka immunosuppressants, mercaptopurine. Um, However, those made me feel like nauseous and sick. Um, so I've the next step in like purposely compromising your immune system is a group of drugs called biologics, which sounds like a bioweapon. Especially because it comes in vials and you have to inject it. Um, you could argue it is a bit of a bioweapon because it is an immunosuppressant. It like it damps your immune system, so you're less susceptible. You're more susceptible to being like killed by the cold. Um, yeah, no, it's not quite bioweapon grade, No, so I'm going in to have my first injected dose of that, and I think for the nurse to like show me how to inject myself basically, and then I had to do it every 2 weeks. Um, so yeah, the only problem is that basically they really like you to be on the chemotherapy, because uh the like these create a like compounding effect with the injections, like the biologics, because it basically goes from like uh if this is 1x effectiveness and the injections on their own is like 1x effectiveness, having both is like 4x effectiveness basically. At least that's my understanding. But I can't take those, so I've just got to deal with the injections. Um, you're a walking science experiment. I really am. Yeah. What? How much can go wrong? Apparently, quite a lot. I worked out there really isn't many parts of my body that work. Like my lungs don't, so I've got asthma. My back doesn't. Like my spine doesn't. I have lumbar lordosis. All of my joints don't. I have, well, in theory, it's unspecified arthritis. Or amplified musculoskeletal pain syndrome. Anyway, what else? My eyes don't; they're falling apart. I've mapped out dystrophy. My entire guts don't. I have ulcerative colitis and get stomach ulcers. Yeah, I've had a few heart scares. And my brain's so fucked. Bare minimum ADHD and autism. gender dysphoria, and then the symptoms of like anxiety and depression. There's a lot wrong with that too. Your brain definitely works though. Well, that's the autism. It's Wendy Stone Novichok. Well, I think if the injections don't work, no, I think if the injections don't work, they have to cut my colon out. Don't really want that. So yeah. If there's any consolation, I can't even afford to hire myself, let alone someone else. Yeah, I mean, I have been doing this for, well, full time for 9 or 10 years. Yeah, I've been doing it since I was 15, and I've been full time at least since I was 19 or 18, actually. Yeah. I mean, do you want to know something funny? Do you know how many subscribers I had when I moved out of my, familial home? Take a guess. Bearing in mind that like most people wouldn't consider YouTube a like viable career option under like at least 50,000, but really probably more like 100, like where I'm at now. You know, 3,678. Do you know you're not far off? I found a screenshot from about that time. It was about 7,000. Yeah. It was about 7,000 subscribers. I happened to luck into getting a sponsorship deal, I think with Gigabyte, that was that they basically they were paying me enough to cover my rent, and I managed to set up a foothold from that. So yeah, I wouldn't have done that if I didn't feel like I really needed to. Try being on 8.4k subs after 10 years, still waiting for my break. I mean, I would say that it comes, but I mean, I've been doing this for 12 or 13, so, or soon to be 13, I think. And I'm not one for meteoric growth, clearly. I mean, I kind of say I'm kind of happy with that, because a lot of the meteoric rises then have meteoric falls, but yeah. Obviously, YouTube looks hard. Like, I don't want to say, that it is in the sense like that there are a lot of harder jobs in the world. I am incredibly lucky and privileged to be able to do this as a job, to have the flexibility afforded to me of being my own boss and doing everything else. But also, it's kind of it's like being all of the standard stuff of being self-employed is still there, but then you also have the added element of like your entire paycheck is decided by an algorithm that no one understands, including the people who made it. you know um it's also like incredibly easy to get burned out because you can put so much effort into like making what you think is the best video you could possibly make, and then very few people end up seeing it, and then you can put literally no effort into what is essentially just a shit post, and it's like one of your most popular videos in the channel. Like I I, I don't know, man. YouTube seems like a bad business partner. Yeah. Like, I mean, without it, I wouldn't be here. So I like it's hard to you know complain, but also it's a bit it's a bit of an abusive relationship at times. um, a lot of people make the money on TikTok for the right kind of content, sure. Although also TikTok's monetization strategy is, I don't think, very reliable. I know that a lot of people have like switched from TikTok to YouTube Shorts because YouTube is generally more reliable at actually paying you. Um, so yeah. Um, I've never seen so many review thumbnails saying Intel is cooked. I mean, considering the performance that the 9800X3D has, I like even if Intel could pull it out the bag with a significant upgrade, um, that's quite the the lead that AMD has there. Do you play Call of Duty? Not in a long time actually. I got banned off of Modern Warfare. Um, for I genuinely don't know why. Like I didn't get an email to say why. I was playing, like multiplayer with a few friends. Uh, I I was doing quite well that night. The Adderall kicked in, uh, and yeah, but it was fine. I logged out. I went on a trip. I came back to then use Modern Warfare to do benchmarking, and it said I was banned. And I tried to contact them, but they were like, all bans are final. And I'm like, could you at least tell me why? Like, I didn't get an email. I didn't get notified. Like, I just logged in and it said, you've been, like, banned from this game. Like, huh? So yeah, I haven't played a COD since. What's the best gaming monitor for £220? Well, it kind of depends on your preferences because uh, what price are they at these days? Yeah. So, the AOC Q27 G2S is £210, and that is 1440p, 165 hertz IPS. Very nice monitor, I think. Check the channel to see if I've reviewed it. Uh, oh, the new one. The new one's available. Uh, the Q27G4X. In fact, I can give you a link. Um, yeah, 180 hertz IPS. And AOC is really on a roll with amazing value and still pretty decent monsters. So yeah, that's almost exactly £220 as well. Nice. Like, it's still an LCD panel, so it's still, like, wait, is it? Oh bollocks! So it is. Okay. Here's the one that is 1440p. That's even cheaper. It's £10 less. Um, there you go. But yeah, generally speaking, AOC is a great choice for budget and like performance, or at least performance per pound. Yeah, is it? I mean, let me just Let me just. No, yeah, you're right. It's 1440p. So the first one, the G4X, is the better choice there. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Um. I have input lag when I play video games, and I don't know how to fix it. I will pay someone if they can fix my PC. It's called packet burst. Um. Well, okay. So hold on. You say you have input lag when you play games. So I assume you're talking about Call of Duty. But then you describe packet burst, which is normally a networking thing. Um, when you say you have input lag, so as an autist who makes tools to test input lag, um, I, I'm a bit pedantic when it comes to the terminology. Mostly just to try and understand what it is you're actually talking about. So generally speaking, input lag, as you describe it, is the time between you clicking and the thing showing up on your screen. There is what you call it? Also, there's then network lag, which is you're walking around in a multiplayer game and the your enemy just like pops out in front of you. That is more to do with either your local area network, your LAN, so the connection between your PC and your router and whatever's under there, or your internet connection. Your internet connection is more difficult to fix. Although Capono says you should lower the MTU to 1500. Maximum transmission unit, is that right? I can never remember. Yeah, people saw me before I saw them. Right. So yeah, you're talking about a network issue rather than input lag. And so I guess the first question is, how is your PC connected to your router? uh, um, yeah, you can also check your ping in games. With COD, it's normally tab, and you can see the leaderboard, and you can see your ping. Um, I have two internet, a Home Optimum 1 gig and a Verizon 2 gig. Wow, okay. Fair enough. Which one is your PC connected to? Have you tried both? And again, how is your PC connected to call it? Your router. Jesus. My ping is 6. Well, that's pretty good. Between 6 and 15 milliseconds. Yeah. Even speed test will give lag and jitter stats now. Yeah. Normally, it definitely does lag. Jitter, I can't remember. It's been a while. I don't tend to use speed test very often. um, I think so. It's managed too much internet. It does. 3 gig to your house, man. Cable land. Right. Okay, I think you mean you connected via Ethernet. Good. Direct? I have Ethernet Cat 6A and 7. Fair enough. Yeah, 60 to 50 milliseconds is great. ISP could be adding extra hops though, and PAT/prioritizing speed test sites. That is pretty common. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've played COD much, but that is a very common experience, regardless of your internet connection. um, but yeah. Oh, really sick. What drugs do I have? This is my travel pouch of drugs, by the way. Sometimes COD can get a bad server. Does COD let you know the lag ping anymore? Used to be on the kill score display. Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought. As I said, I haven't played COD in quite a few years, so I couldn't tell you for sure, but I think at very least in the settings it had an option, because COD's one of COD's things was always about network address translation and how open it was. Yeah. Tsunami, yes, we have a Discord. It's linked in the description. You can add to the tech support channel if you want. Could try a simpler game like Counter-Strike that has less variables, just to try. I feel like, especially as Fortnite was mentioned, I think it is at least potentially not isolated just to Call of Duty. I agree, Joe. In fact, I've actually banned myself from Reddit for a while. For the same reason. I have I have this Oppo Find X5. Doesn't say. I have this Oppo phone that I was sent and did at least an video on a while ago, and I downloaded a games app with like lots of games. It's actually quite funny, because obviously like some games like Sudoku and Solitaire, you know, they're all like, you know, copyright free. Like you can just call them, you know, Solitaire or whatever. But then there are some that are still clearly copyright. So come on, focus. Battleships is called Sea Battle. 2048 is called Number Slide. Connect 4 is called 4 in a row. Wordle is called Word Guess. Simon is called Sound Memory. Come on, focus. Which is yeah, amazing. Are any other funny ones? I don't think so. Oh no. No, there is. Fruit Merge, which I think is Fruit Ninja, and Color Cards, which is Uno. Just call it one. Yeah, no, there's so many funnier names. I really want to play a game like that Hero Wars advert. Well, the funny thing is that the reason that I've downloaded the games on this phone and not my phone is because I leave this one not connected to the internet, which means that, like, when I get utterly bombarded with ads for those utterly terrible mobile games that you just know really only exist for the ad revenue, uh, I download them on this phone, turn off Wi-Fi, and then I just get to enjoy the game without it, bombarding me with ads. And it's also really funny to watch how they break when they're not connected to the internet, especially for long periods of time. There's one of those like two gates, kind of like oh no, it's the like person like stick figure shooter type, and you go through the different gates to multiply them, whatever. There's one of those games which it clearly had a load of events pre-programmed in, like just on a timer. So after a certain amount of time or a set time and date, it would enable a new like mode or a new like thing, which I always find kind of interesting, because when you play, I don't know, a game like Candy Crush or something, they have lots of different events. Well, I always kind of wondered how they end up, like, how those get pushed into the app. And at least for this app, it looks like they're all pre-programmed in and just set on timers, which makes a lot of sense, but it is kind of interesting. I wondered if there was any like over-the-air updates and stuff that would come down, but seems not. It's kind of interesting. Early 2010s was peak era for simple and fun mobile games. Like, was it Temple Run? Yeah, Flappy Bird. Yeah. What else? I mean, I was, uh, you know, that was like peak. I just got an Android phone and had some of those games. Flash games from my era. Actually, same, but that was desktop, and that was working out ways to get around the school like filtering system, which we always did. It was like Zen proxy, like Chrome extension. You have to install Chrome first, which somehow we had privileges to do, and then install the Zen proxy, and then it was fine and it worked. And a Samsung Wave smartphone running Bada OS. Nice. I mean, technically, my first smartphone was a Nokia with Symbian OS. It was one of the little bricks that had a stylus and didn't charge with USB and was really annoying. And then my first Android phone was an LG with a resistive touchscreen. And then I bought an HTC Desire C, and then like 4 different Moto Gs, and then a OnePlus 3T, and now a OnePlus 7T Pro. Flappy Bird is a free and simple game. Gets removed, and suddenly people are willing to pay tens of thousands for a phone on it because they needed it. Yeah, yeah, human logic indeed. It created an unobtainable object, didn't it? Created the very demand. Yeah, I don't get it either. I wouldn't have. Um, there you go. Locked into the Samsung ecosystem. Must escape. Obviously I know that Apple is very, very good at you know, uh what you call it? Locking people into their ecosystem, that's it. But is Samsung really that bad for it? Like, because a Samsung Gear S69 watch, whatever, should still work with other Android phones, shouldn't it? My only Apple thing is the iPhone. Fair. I got everyone in my house swapped over to iPhone. Works well. Fair enough. It's not for me, but each to their own. I'm not locked in. I just use all Apple products. um, I have a Samsung TV, RoboVac, phone, tablet, and watch. I feel used. At least you don't also have a Samsung washer, dryer, dishwasher, and fridge. I actually do have a Samsung washing machine. Yeah, I do. But it's not a smart one, so I don't care. I was considering getting the like smart things like Zigbee one, but then I decided really doesn't matter, and it wasn't worth the extra like £100 or something ridiculous. Speaking of, can you help me with words to use to make people understand why Apple crap is bad? um, the 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 thing with Apple products is that Apple has done a very good job at making the usage experience pretty great for most people. I'm not most people. I think we've established that. So it's not quite for me. But you know, um, Apple pay 4 times for half the processing power. Well, it kind of used to be like nowadays. Apple's own silicon stuff is just ridiculous. Um, I have a 25-year-old Whirlpool washing machine. Nice. I uh, we've had several. Like this is the first new washing machine we bought. Um, yeah. That's nothing. My ears are literally made by Samsung. My hearing aids. Nice. Um, why do people have smartwatches? To look at them first before looking at the phone to dismiss the notification. Uh, so as someone who does have several smartwatches, none that I use, none that I paid for actually, the usage experience of a smartwatch is very much to know to be able to much more subtly know what a notification is and if it's worth interacting with. Um, Especially if you do keep your phone in your pocket at all times, to be able to be working whatever and then see it helps. The other thing is that it also is an activity tracker and sleep tracker and whatnot. Actually, as WAP says. So you sort of get all of the benefits of a Fitbit while also having a nice smartwatch to wear, and you also get the benefit of it still having some access to your phone, like the like media controls, for example. Even if you have your your phone out. It might just be easier for you to go, you know, rather than like unlock your phone and whatever. No worries, Elephant Tech Gaming. Good to have you. I use my watch for steps and health data. Well, there you go. My Apple Watch Ultra 1 is crazy strong. I've had it since day one and it still looks new. Nice. You kind of have to commend Apple for the design team still sticking a big FU out to everybody by still putting the port at the bottom of the Apple mouse. Yeah. Do we know why they actually did that? Is that because they don't want it to be used wired? Like, they don't like the aesthetic of people using their own mouse in a way that they don't like. So they put the port on the bottom so that you physically cannot use it when it's charging. Is that right? I kind of miss notification LEDs on phones. So do I! The OnePlus 3T had one, and it's amazing. It was so useful, because you can change what color it is to know what sort of notification it is without having to look. I mean, I think it has kind of been usurped by always on displays where you can just see what notifications you have in icon form. There we go. Got rid of most of them. But yeah. Is it worth €1,000 USD to save less than 2 seconds it takes to put up the phone? I mean, for me, no. I don't wear one, and I have them upstairs. But that's also because I'm autistic and I don't like the sensory experience of having a watch on. Yeah. Do Apple mice have scroll wheels? No. What Simon says is that they are instead of your mouse having physical buttons for stuff, it's basically a touchscreen on top of a mouse body. So you like tap things, whatever, or swipe, whatever, and it's like having a trackpad from a laptop on top of a mouse. You're not wrong-ish. I genuinely don't know how much the Magic Mouse is. I mean, it will be ridiculous. It's only £79. Or 100 on Amazon, apparently. Did you get a 9800X 3D for review? Sadly not. I have been talking to AMD, but none have arrived. I would love to have one in, especially because I still have the 9700X, the 7800X 3D, the 14700K, and the Core Ultra 7 285K for the time being. So yeah, but sadly not. Can you use the stylus in the Apple Mouse? No. Also, because it's a curved surface, you wouldn't want to. I think you can use the like Apple Pencil on the Apple like Magic Pad or whatever it's called, like the actual just static touchpad. Yeah. I love my used G502 Lightspeed. I only wish the second mouse companies would make a proper middle mouse button with a proper switch. Replaced the tiny switch 3 to 4 times now, and paid €10 each time. Ouch. Did they do a graphics tablet? Graphics tablet, no. It's more a laptop touchpad that sits next to your keyboard. After evening noon, Essentialist? How you doing? Apple Pencils for the iPad only. Well then, yeah, I guess. See you, Simon. I'm alive, just woke up. Good. Good start to the day. I just saw a load of 900 X3Ds in a Curry's warehouse. Do people really buy CPUs from Curry's? I mean, online maybe, because who cares? It's online. But yeah, I wouldn't imagine in store. No. One of my first tech related gigs, I suppose you call it, was I'll see you, John. I will do my best. I'm trying. My first thing, like as soon as I passed my driving test, the very next day I drove like 100 miles to go and pick up a load of Samsung SSD like promo gear, because basically Samsung contracted me to go like drive to various PC worlds, set up a little stand, and then like preach the gospel of SSDs to people, and be like, hey, you can like make your old laptop actually work again if you put this in it, which isn't wrong. It's just kind of funny, and so I've spent a lot of time in PC worlds. Well, not a lot of time, but you know, more than usual. And yeah, the sort of people that go to a PC world, even back then, were people who didn't know much about computers and wanted, you know, the PC world people to tell them what to buy. You know. So yeah, I can't imagine many people going to Curry's PC world to buy a CPU on its own. They even sell the motherboards that you need to put it in. I went into Curry's to get my DJI Pocket and started looking at the specs, and some guy came over and tried to tell me that the Chromebooks are the best gaming laptops on the market. Nice. Didn't Curry's and PC Worlds actually blend? Yeah, I mean they're all owned by Dixon's Retail. Comet is the one that actually fully shut down. Oh, they do. Interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that. Funnily enough. Anyway, I think I'm gonna call it there. Have you ever thought about making retro build videos? It's build guides in general are something that really just doesn't work for my brain. I I kind of wish that it did, because you know, they get the views. But yeah, I just can't make myself do them, basically. I have to do things that actually interest me. And yeah. Anyway, I'll see you all next week. Video tomorrow, video Monday. And yeah, have fun, stay safe. I'll try and stay alive. No promises. And yeah, see you all next week.